Welcome to the unofficial Gran Turismo Series podcast, aka GT6 Podcast. I am Jamie Havocan and the host of the show, and I would like to thank you for being here. This is a website for all of us, and you can listen to the release of the podcast weekly, Tuesday nights, right here on the site. Just click the chat room tab. If you have a team, a league, or a group, or even hold weekly open lobbies, send me the information so I can post it on the site. And if the site starts doing good, I will make it a lot better. Thank you for listening, and please share this information. My email is gt5editorpro@gmail.com. gt5editorpro@gmail.com. I hope to hear from you, and I hope this thing takes off. By the way, I am looking for a co-host, so if you can fill that position, email me. Take care. Alright, hello and welcome to the Gran Turismo Series podcast. I should say the unofficial Gran Turismo Series podcast, because I do not represent the game nor any products related to Gran Turismo. I just host a podcast that talks about the game, racing, and much more. This is kind of a bummer. Earlier, I recorded the 2-hour episode for the podcast, and it was going to be episode 1.0. Well, what happened is my computer is a production machine. It is a server, so I was running, of course, my broadcasting software, because I run a station 24/7. I had the recorder open with about 6 different files. I had Photoshop open. I had about 10 Google Chrome tabs open. I had Skype open. I had probably Windows Movie Maker open. And as I'm editing the very last part of the podcast, I get the spinning wheel of death, and then the option, close this program or check for a solution online. Now, I remember when I used to use Adobe Audition. Right now I use AVSU Audio Editor. Audition, if it crashed, when you loaded it back up, it would remember those recordings and say, do you want to restore the last recordings you did not save? Which was a very good thing, but this one does not have that feature. And I had a ton of information in the podcast. I had 2 full hours, and I sat down and did the 2 full hours in 3 sessions, but this show here is replacing it, so we'll see what we get out of this show. Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Jamie Havocan. And this week, hopefully, we sound a little bit better. I'm trying something new, a new microphone. Actually, the first podcast that's on the website, really not a podcast, more of an introduction to myself and how I got into it. I named it GT6 Podcast Episode 0.5. This will be Episode 1. Now, there has been a lot of changes to Gran Turismo with the updates, some exciting stuff, but first I just want to run you guys through the website real quick. Now, I am working on a new site. Our URL is gt6podcast.us, and I built this site in about 4 hours. even though I have a dedicated server and I use WordPress a lot for my main site, which is myname.com. I threw this site together and I want to see how the podcast does. I don't want to waste a lot of my time if it's not going to take off. But if the podcast takes off, and so does the site, because we have a forum, we have a page for listings of teams and events and groups and leagues, photos and videos, all kinds of stuff, a live chat room, 24-hour streaming live through my radio station, which is Jamie Havocan Broadcasting. It used to be, I founded and started Florida UFO Radio back in 2007-8 after I had an experience, and I was in the paranormal for a while, and I did 115 big-name interviews. I'm talking astronauts, presidents, before I decided, I would like to bring on guests that, I wouldn't want to say, well, the name of my show is Florida UFO Radio. I thought about a name, and the name Inception came to me. This is way before the movie came out, and I started Inception Radio. I was already producing a couple shows, and basically it grew into a network. So from there, it just took off. And at a time, we were the second largest talk radio network online based. I mean, they do, and we did when I was part of them, broadcast to FM and AM stations. I have one here locally that I run. It's a micro station, but it is on FM, but we did broadcast to real AM and FM. And I've had offers to go on real AM and FM, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. So the website, basically I just want to explain this to you real quick. I left Inception Radio Network and started something new because I'd gotten sick. And when I came back, things had changed a lot. My recovery process was pretty lengthy. So I decided to leave, but I started something new, and that kind of fell through. So I'm starting the Jamie Havocan Broadcasting, which is kind of a little bit of everything. Radio consultations, I do my own show, I produce other shows, I carry shows, I do voiceovers, commercials, stuff like that. And I have a real studio about 2 miles from my house, which is at a radio station, and I can go there to do my professional work. For my podcast, I think my home studio is fine. But if you go on the website, which is GT6 Podcast, it's the number 6, GT, the number 6, podcast.us. I was going to get the .com, but seriously, I just don't have the money. So you have the home page, and then you have a little banner. It says, welcome to your source for Gran Turismo Talk. Then it has a little player, and it's just a introduction to the website.
Welcome to the unofficial Gran Turismo Series podcast, aka GT6 Podcast.
It just tells you about the website. Now below that it has a Next Gen update logo, which will take you to Next Gen. Then it has just a little bit about us, about the website. And then it has a big slideshow with some pictures of my cars. But basically I just want to tell you about the menu, and then we'll move on. There's an About tab. Underneath that is the page of GT-related info, teams, etc. So if you have a team, a group, a league, let me know. Send me an email, and I will post it. Send the name, the image, the link if you have one, all the information you want on the site, and I will post it there. Also, we have the most important page is the Well, there are two important ones. The listen and chat page, because the podcast is a podcast, but I also release it at a certain time, and I stream it live on air at 8 p.m. Tuesdays. That's Eastern Time. Sorry about the background noise. There's nothing I can do about it. So what you would do is you would go to that page, and there's a chat room with a nice background, has the call-in number, has our URL, and then under it has our professional player, and that player streams a 48K bitrate stream, but the way I have it set up, it sounds amazing for that bitrate. Now, inside the chat box itself, if you're familiar with XAT, there's a little player, and I have an arrow pointing to it. Now, that stream is 192K, which is beyond DVD quality. That's like Blu-ray quality. And the drop-down tab under Listen and Chat tab is Past Shows. You click on that to listen to the past shows. The bad thing is, when I started this site, this is why I'm building the WordPress site, if this starts to get rolling, is I made it a blog page so I can do the post and edit and post the show. Well, you cannot post any HTML, so I had to post HTML in the sidebar. So the shows are going to be listed in the sidebar, little purple buttons that say episode, 0.1 with a date, episode 1, episode 2. That's how that works. Then we have our GT6 Podcast forum. It's a full-fledged forum. We're going to see if it takes off. We also have a drop-down tab below that. Latest Gran Turismo news, which is a RSS page feed from gran-turismo.com itself. We have a Contact Us page, and then a photos and video page. Now, this is for you guys to submit photos and videos to me via the forum or email. Definitely email me if something is submitted via the forum. Now, I want to say one more thing before I give out my email address, which, by the way, is at the top of the website. If you're on the website, right at the very top, it shows the email. I am looking for a co-host, somebody with automotive knowledge, somebody who is a gamer, somebody who does play or has played Gran Turismo 5 at least to know the current technology. It would be nice if you're a current player. Most importantly, this is what I need. Somebody with a lot of knowledge in cars, in particular, makes and models. I know my cars, but after 2004, I got out of cars and did not get back into them until the game, when I had my major surgeries. If you listen to episode 0.5, you would have heard that the game GT5 arrived to me while I was recovering in a hospital after some surgeries. Of course, I did play the very first Gran Turismo, and I played the second and the third, and a little bit of the fourth. But there was a big gap, a couple 3-year gap I didn't play at all. So I really, it's about the game too. Yeah, it would be somebody who plays the game a lot, because some of the cars in the game, sometimes, I don't know how to pronounce some of the makes and models like exactly 100% perfect, and the tracks, but I do my best. And the email, now I have two. You can pick whichever is best for you. The Gran Turismo one that I had made a while back is GT5 Editor Pro at gmail.com. That is GT5 Editor Pro at gmail.com. And that is the email that is posted at the top of the website. It sticks out like a sore thumb. gt5editorpro@gmail.com. You can also email me at my broadcasting network email, which is jhbncontact@gmail.com. Now that stands for Jamie Havican Broadcasting Network, jhbncontact@gmail.com. And email me if you have photos, videos, anything you'd like submitted to the website, teams, leagues. And if you want to be a co-host, just send me some of your information, knowledge about the game, a little bit of background, and if you can, an audio sample. All you need is like a USB headset or something that makes you sound okay. And I do the rest here at the studio, as far as pulling you in, producing the show, all that stuff. Doing a podcast is so simple compared to live radio production where you have to go by a clock and all that stuff. By the way, I'm running on very, very low sleep. So excuse me on that one. Alright, there's been some big changes in the game. Now let me read this article for you guys. Very exciting. And I have finally beaten them. You know what I got stuck on for a while was the International A? The license test before you open up the International S, the very last block. There's a Bugatti, and it is at Ascari, the track, and you have to get around the track in under 2 minutes and 20 seconds in a bone stock Bugatti. No upgrades, no nothing. And I'll tell you, it was a pain in the ass, and I will say that. I don't know, I mean, the first night I just tried over and over, and I kept getting so close, and one point I came within 95 1,000ths of a second to getting 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So it was aggravating. Finally today, what I decided to do was, okay, this is what I'll do. I'll races, do a championship, then I'll go there and I'll try it 5 or 10 times. If I don't get it, I'll race some more, then go back and try it. And today, finally, I race in a recliner. I have my wheel set up because I'm disabled. I had a bad accident, and my back was basically, you could say, broken in 3 places. My sciatic nerve in my left leg is so damaged that it's hard for me to walk with my left leg. So the wheel I use is a special wheel that has, it's almost like the Red Bull. If you drive a real Red Bull, look at the wheel, except mine's it's a regular wheel, circular. The Red Bull, the gas and the brake pedals are actually on the wheel, and then you shift on the wheel as well. So I have gas and brake pedals that are like real gas and brake pedals. They're just on the wheel, and you pull them towards you. And then I have the F1 paddles that you push away from you. Very cool wheel, made by Logitech for people that can't use traditional wheels. Alright, here is the big news. Gran Turismo 6 update brings Red Bull cars and tutoring from Sebastian Vettel, or I call it the Vettel. I'm pretty sure that's how it's pronounced. It could be Vettel. Now, they have a lot of photos in this article, and they are simply amazing. Gran Turismo 6 has barely been on the market for 2 weeks, and already its developers are releasing an update. They've already released about 10 of them. Available for download as of the 20th. The update centers around the Red Bull Racing, program that includes 2 new cars, and the new Red Bull X Challenge in which to race them. The cars in question are barely cars. They consist of the Red Bull Racing Kart and the Red Bull 2014 Junior, the first stage in Adrian Newey's design exclusively for GT6. That will later be followed by the X 2014 Standard, then the fan cars, which are going to be the Red Bull of Red Bulls. And to make the deal much sweeter, the package includes in-game mentioning by none other than the reigning multiple world champion, Vettel himself, or Vettel. The downloadable content pack is being offered for free of charge and includes a few other updates about, let me scroll down. It says about what you can read on the main website. The Standard and Fan X 2014 Red Bulls are expected to join the game in a later stage during an update. But all the new Red Bull 2014 cars have been designed for GT in conjunction with Red Bull's racing chief. The free update is a unique and exciting collaboration. Red Bull Racing Team says, I've been playing Gran Turismo since I was 12, so to take part in the game myself is just great. So this is Sebastian himself talking. The second phase of the Red Bull X Challenge, along with the other two Red Bull cars, will be made available in a future update for GT6. Other elements in the update 1.02. Alright, this is very important. A consecutive login bonus. Just like GT5, when you log in online for consecutive days, a bonus to all credits awards will acquire to a potential 200% bonus on the 5th day. I'm at 170%, and that's from the first time they released it. Be sure to log in every day to continue your credits. Also, the credits earned in career mode have been increased. The amount of credits earned in career mode have been increased. This may give you good incentive to go back and re-race and try some of the races you've already cleared to win more money. Also, entry requirements for seasonal events have been lowered. Players will only require a National B license in order to participate in the seasonal events for this limited time. There will be a unique special events that will reward cars as prizes, so don't miss the opportunity to log in. Also, 2 new seasonal events will run from December 20th, 2013 to January 17th, 2014. And then another January 30th, 2014. These unique events to mark the seasonal holiday and the new year will feature special bonus credits. Now let me find the article that there's 2 more articles I want to bring up to you, and one might upset you, one you may have already heard of, and might get you to turn the game on right now. Gran Turismo 6, Mario Andretti's 1948 Hudson is available in the game. And I have this car. Now, if you don't want to do the seasonal event, which is so easy, the car is slow, first of all. I believe you go around one of the Willow Springs, very short course. But I beat it, first place on my first try. But GT fans, for the latest weeks, many of you visited. Now, this is the website for this. GT6FirstLove.com. People have been sharing their first love stories, and they witnessed the rebuild of Mario Andretti's first race car that started his illustrious career, the 1948 Hudson. Now you can go to the special event stage and win it, and it's a nice little car. You can add nitrous to it. I got it up to 130 on Daytona with nitrous, so yeah, there's much more to this article. So let's see what else we can find about this. There's a documentary. The that talks about this, and it's all about the remake of the car and the unveiling to Mario himself.
Andretti's car is just an amazing machine, and also it marks the oldest car in Gran Turismo as far as I know. I could be wrong, but being a 1948, it is pretty old. Before that, the oldest car in the game, I think, was the Volkswagen Schwinwagen. Now, let me get to the page here. Have a listen here. This is Gran Turismo Andretti's 48 Hudson is available. Listen to this here.
Our social community is you guys. You're going to get to interact with us in the shop, live, over the internet, in order to help with this build.
We rebuilt the Hudson. For the entire GT community. And reunited a legend with his first love.
Wow, who do we have?
Good to see you.
Yeah, Andrew, nice to see you.
How are you, buddy? Good to see you again.
Mario Andretti arrives.
We got something for you.
It's pretty exciting. Oh, no.
He's looking at his old car for the first time. Known as his first love. Go to GT6FirstLove.com. So GT6FirstLove.com, that is where you can share your first love. What car was your first car and your first favorite car? Mine, I'm a younger generation, of course. Mine would be a Buick GNX as a first car. My first 7 cars were Buicks, 6 of which were Regals, 1 a GNX. My very first car was a 1983 Buick LeSabre 4-door tank, and it was just great. So this car is available. Like I said, you can beat it, you can also buy it. And there's some other stuff included here. It says, for the last few weeks, many of you have visited the GT6 First Love and shared your incredible feelings. Well, the moment's finally here. The reunion video captures the magical moment when Mario Andretti sees and drives the rebuilt Hudson for the first time in more than 60 years. Without giving too much away, the video also shows an incarnate process that the makers of Gran Turismo took to recreate the classic Hudson in GT6. The process includes data capturing, 3D scanning, and sound recording of the engine at all ranges of the RPM. After this, you'll get to see Mr. Andretti himself reveal his first love driving experience in the rebuilt Hudson. Properly celebrate the collaboration between Mario Andretti and Gran Turismo. A unique special event feature is available, as I said, and you can also buy it in the store. It's funny, the one I'm going to bring up next, I bought then one. There's some comments here. Somebody says, first, the game looks fantastic. I think I might break down and get it. The website, playstation.gt6firstlove.com. Let's see. I really wish I was good at this game. Seeing things like this make me want to play so bad, but when I do, I spend more time spinning out than I actually do racing. Now, for people out there like that, I am like that for the Grand Theft Auto series. I never played any of the Grand Theft Autos except the third. And I got to a certain point where you have to go blow up Homeboy's car. I don't get the game, and it's just confusing. It's not my kind of game. So when 5 came out, and I seen how amazing the game was, it is an amazing game. But I bought it, and I could not race with my friends. I basically had to unlock things like you do on GT6, but I'd never played this game before, so it was frustrating. I do understand people like this. What I will say is that the difference between Gran Turismo 5 and 6 is your driving options. This game, I found you need some driving options to get used to the physics. When I race my last race was... well, I haven't gotten to that car yet. Let's say the Ford GT. Now, if you're going to buy a Ford GT, first of all, buy the 05 No Stripe or the 06. Don't go buying the $1.8 million Gran Turismo version. Yes, it looks amazing, has a good interior, but you cannot upgrade it. And the Ford GT that I bought, oh man, I put amazing wheels on it, an amazing paint job, 22-inch rims. I mean, they're just amazing cars. But on Gran Turismo 5, the only driving aid I would normally put on that car is skid force. In this game, I put skid force, I put the active stability management on, and then I put the other one, which is something, to mild. There's also strong. Because if not, you're going to be all over the road. Now, if you have a wheel, it's different. I have both. And I race both. Right now, I find it easier on the controller for certain things and on the wheel for certain things. With regular car racing, like the Ford, I find the controller works better right now. For Red Bulls, karts, F1s, I find the wheel works better. One thing that surprised me in this game is on GT5, I got into karts big time. And I ran some of the fastest lap times in the karts at certain laps that were just ridiculous. But on GT6, it is much different. These karts are hard to handle. You do not get to choose any driving options. You start out in the junior, then you move on to the 125 special, then you move on to the 125 shifter. Yes, I said shifter. And now, let me tell you about this. In the update also includes the Red Bull. Now, if I talked about this earlier, I'm sorry. You got to remember, I recorded a full 2-hour show that included all this, and I lost it. So, now, what this is you know where all the boxes are. You know, your International A boxes and all your, what would you call it? What do you call it? Career mode play. Where all the different stages are, the 6 boxes. Now to the right side of that, you have a Red Bull box. When you start it, you race Red Bull go-karts. These things are pretty cool. And they're pretty fast and a little bit different to handle, but I found them a lot easier to handle than the 125 special or the shifters. Now, the shifters you can put in automatic. If you beat the kart championship, which there's no race, it's just a championship, you then move to a Red Bull championship, which consists of the Red Bull Junior. Now, the Red Bull Junior is a pretty cool car, and to me, one of the best sounding cars in the game. It sports a 4-banger, and spits out around 300 horsepower at max. I mean, broken in, oil change, all that stuff. There's no add-ons at all to it. It's already pretty much, all built up. And it is a precursor to get ready for the Formula One racing, they say. But I beat both championships, and then it shows more championships, but they will not be unlocked until the 1st of January. So it's going to be interesting. Now, what happened was I bought a Red Bull Junior. I was like, I was saving up money to buy the Red Bull Prototype 2013. And I went to Gran Turismo Garage and just to see the prices, the different ones. And I said, wow, there's the Junior for $200,000? I looked at the PP, which was $720, something like that, $730. I said, you got to be kidding me. $200,000 for 720 pp on a Red Bull? I bought it. I took it to the tuning shop. You can't do anything to it, like I said. Then, when I was recording the first podcast that, magically wiped away, I had the game on. And live, I was like, let me look in the garage, see how much horsepower it has. Well, it has, like I said, at the time it had 297. I did an oil change after that. Got it up to 306, something like that, and it needs to be broken in. So I bought that before I even did the go-kart racing Red Bull. After you do the go-kart racing Red Bull Championship, and you beat it, you win the go-kart, the Red Bull. Then, once you beat the Junior Red Bull Championship, you win the Junior Red Bull. So now I have 2 of them. I hate that you cannot send cars to friends. I seriously don't like it. And speaking of this, I have to give a true shout out to a friend. I'm not going to name his username or anything that would identify him. Just gonna call him B. And he is one of the first people I met the very first night that I got Gran Turismo 5. I popped into a lobby and I met him and another friend, and they were nice to me. Very nice, and actually would, tune my cars. I'd send them my cars, they would tune them, do all kinds of stuff, send them back. Very helpful. Now, if you listen to the first episode, actually a half an episode, the introduction, GT6 Podcast, episode 0.5, you'll know that I was screwed out of my pre-order. I pre-ordered it, a few hours before it was released. The funds didn't get approved in time, so I ended up with no anniversary cars. Well, that all changed on the 20th of December when I was in a lobby for friends only. Now, people that are used to GT5, you don't have lounges. What you do is you go into your lobby, the lobbies, and you just create one and put friends only. And my friend B popped in, and he says, what are you racing? And I told him, just a Corvette. We don't have any of the anniversary editions. I said, I got screwed. I pre-ordered it, and something with PayPal, the funds weren't approved, so I just got rid of it and ordered the regular game. He said, well, look, man, I've known you a long time. I trust you. I will private message you my login information, and you can download the car packs from there. And he says it's legal because you can have it on, I believe it's 2 or 6 different PC. I think it's 2 consoles, 6 accounts. So I said, really? He said, yeah, no problem, So he gave me his information, and he says, after we were done racing, he said, I'm going to go log off. So he logs off, and I go, and I made a new user, and I logged in with his information. I went to the PS3 store and went to downloads, and there they were. The cars, when you buy the game, if you get the Anniversary Edition, and you get it in the dealership, or the online store, the DLC, the game is a download, but then all the cars and the gear and the paint are downloads as well. So I downloaded all the cars, the item suits, the paint, quite a few things, and was not sure if it was going to work because I just created an account, used his, and I wasn't sure if it would work to my main account. So I logged in and I went to my car garage right away. It didn't say new cars. Opened it up and there was 25, 26 blank spots. I'm like, what's this? Oh no. So as soon as I clicked on a blank spot, I seen the option to update the image. I did that, the car popped up, the information, I did that to all the cars, and boom, I have them all. So I went from having like 22 cars to having, whatever, 22 plus 25, 26, 27, however many cars are in there. And I went from having like, 14 or 15 paint to I don't even know how many. Here are some of my stats. I have driven 6,000 miles since the 6th on Gran Turismo 6. And I have only been in a lobby 3 times and no more than an hour and a half all 3 times combined. Total races, 302. Total races, 287. Total number of hours racing, 72.6 hours. Now this isn't on the game. If it was on the game, it would be way up there. This is behind the wheel since the 6th. I could do a calculation how many days it's been and take the hours of a day, 24 hours, take the amount of hours, divide that, and I would find the average amount of hours I am behind the wheel on GT6 in a given day. So, I was, out of all my friends, the first person to get through most of the licenses and challenges. I really did get stuck on that Bugatti license test. That thing is a pain in the butt. There's a little trick though. You can look on your friends that have already beat it, and you can hover and see what settings they used. If they were on a wheel, it'll say 90 degree wheel, sequential shifter. If they're on a controller, it'll say controller. It'll tell you if they had any traction on, automatic or manual, any, skid force. Skid force is on by default on that one. Any of the other driving options. You cannot mess with any of the car settings. Basically, it is a Bugatti, as if you went and bought the 2010 Bugatti from the store and did nothing to it. And you have to go around Ascari, starting at a standstill right at the finish line, and do a lap in under 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Now, you would think a Bugatti's faster than a Ford GT 05 or 06, whichever one I have. But I got the Ford because I'm thinking what's closest to the Bugatti that's kind of heavy, same type of drive system, rear engine, rear wheel, etc. On my first try in the Ford, did a 2-minute, 11-second lap. And that is because you can drift. There was more torque to the wheels, so around turns you can apply that with your gas and feather it instead of actually having to turn with no drifting at all. I finally beat it, and when I did, I was just so happy because I'd come so close so many times, and it was just such a pain. So let me open up an article and go over some more recent news. Now, I want to let you guys know real quick, I don't know if I mentioned this in the beginning, but I am looking for a co-host to do this show with me weekly. If you work, that is fine. Any time that you have spare, I'll be there. I mean, it's not like you have to be here Thursdays at 6 to pre-record the podcast. I will fit the recording to whatever time you need. I prefer somebody who has expertise in Gran Turismo, the models, makes of cars, the tracks, and history of the game, the series, stuff like that. I got out of cars for a while. Also, I'm looking for a blogger, somebody to just come on and manage a page and just type a blog out every, a couple times a week about the game, about stuff, news. You could even do a news special. Now remember, this is all running on the Jamie Avican Broadcasting Network 24-hour radio station. That is live. I mean, right now it is streaming. It's streaming a very old show at low quality back when I first started, but see,
they leave impressions in the ground.
Now that show is from 2009. Timothy Beckley. So, also, I am looking for radio shows. Whether you want to do a live radio show, and if that's the case, I have a full studio, including 800 lines, toll-free, local lines, Skype, Google Plus, everything. I have the best broadcasting software out there. I do need to get a new microphone. The microphone I'm using right now is not the best. That's why I don't sound that great. But besides that, I'm pretty good. As far as set up. Now, when I produce a show, what I do is all you need to do is be at your computer with your mic or your headset. I recommend buying a USB microphone for your computer. Now, you can go out and get a podcast kit, but if you're not producing yourself, you really don't need it. So, and some of the best are the, I believe they're called Blue microphones. Let me see here. Even headsets will work quite well. So, let's see. Computer headsets at Best Buy. You can even integrate your headset for your PS3 and use that if it's a USB. As long as it's not a Bluetooth, it's a real headset. I recommend stuff like the PDP Afterglow Universal Wireless Headset. It runs about $90. Has the best reviews out there. You can buy that at Best Buy. Also, the Logitech G230, and it's an over-the-ear gaming headset, which I need because mine currently, I'll just come out and say it, I have a pretty big head. You know, when you have all the intelligence I do, you need a head that is ginormous. I'm just joking, I'm dumb as a rock, but my head is big, and my older brothers, teased me. My nickname as a kid was Chief Bigum's Head, indeed. But no, these headphones are way too tight, and if I wear them and fall asleep or something, I wake up, my ears killing me. But I do have another headset that works amazing. Now, right now I'm using, of course, a microphone, but the cool thing is I can actually hook up a small mixer, and I do this. I switch back and forth. A Behringer 502 mixer to my PlayStation, and, you know, in the input, I run a Shure SM58 microphone, and then the output, I run to Beat earbuds. So the mixer, the audio from the PS3 comes in through the RCA jacks that come from the PS3, and then it goes back in from the mixer into a USB on the front of the PS3. And then the audio coming from into the mixer goes to the Skullcandy or the Beat headphones that I have into my ear, so I can race at nighttime at 3 a.m. and it sounds like I'm really racing, and it's dead silent in here. So, all right, let's get to this news story. But if you want to be a co-host, also if you have a team, a league, or you are holding special events or hold an open lobby every week, any information like that, the email to send all this information to is GT5, just like the game GT5, editorpro@gmail.com. GT5 Editor Pro. Now, write it down, because if you try to remember it, you'll be like GT5 Pro Editor. No. GT5 Editor Pro @gmail.com. Email me, subject line GT6 Podcast. I will get it, and we will go from there. If you do want to do a show, and you can, submit a short audio clip, and if you're submitting your team, your website, whatever, include information, a logo, a banner, and a link. All right, now this, I don't know what to think about this, but this is coming from www.cheapassgamer.com. Gran Turismo 6, $39.99 at GameStop next week, confirmed. This was posted December 19th, 2013 at 1:29 a.m. It says, it's going to be $39.99. I work at GameStop, and I have the ad that was pre-sent to us. I will post the new ad soon. GameStop will have Gran Turismo 6 next week. My local GameStop provided information stating the price was for $29.99 with the standard wink and shush. But I appreciate the confirmation information all the same. Thanks to Dante84 for the confirmation. One person says information can't be true unless he was also... no, that's not right. That's something a little bit too graphic for this show. Another person says, I will be returning my unopened copy if that is the case, but I'll wait until I see an ad for proof. Don't wait for an ad. I mean, I can make you an ad in 10 minutes that would convince you it's real. and post it on here and make it look like it's on the official website. Let's see what else, any other comments. Grabbing this if it's true. At $30, it's a no-brainer. We'll keep an eye on this thread. So that's going to kind of piss me off. Someone else says, word is GT6 trophy list is drastically easier than GT5's. In the neighborhood of 50 hours, and like 20 hours of that is just grinding mileage for one trophy. Drive 8,000 miles. Wow, I'm almost there. I will definitely be tempted for $30, but I haven't played the GT games since the first one on the PS1. Oh boy, he's in for a surprise. I don't generally go in for semi-racers. Well, you're going to have a big surprise. This guy's going to fall in love with this game. Another guy says, wait till the summer when the price drops to $20. I bought Gran Turismo 5 for $19.99, and I'll admit, the best $19 I've ever spent. Alright, let's see what other news we have. I know there was one that I seen that's... Alright, 2 more stories, and then we're going to wrap it up. The first one is very exciting. As you know, if you've received the Mercedes-AMG VGT Envision GT, you've seen that there are many other car sketches there. Well, the title, this is coming from torquenews.com, which is a great site I recommend highly. And this is written by Dennis Fowler. Best I can pronounce it. Ultra high performance Subaru BRZ Sports Tourer revealed. That is Tourer, like a touring car. Tourer. Following in the footsteps of the Mercedes-Benz AMG Vision Gran Turismo, Subaru develops the high-performance BRZ Sports Tourer for the Gran Turismo 6 game. It may seem like pure fantasy, but the new Subaru BRZ high-performance sports tourer could become reality some days. For those gamers who will be driving these concept cars on the new Gran Turismo 6 from PlayStation, it will seem real enough. Mercedes unveiled the AMG VGT as a real concept at the LA Auto Show, and it looks like the digital world of gaming is beginning to influence the real world of automotive design in a big way. Now, Subaru has revealed a new concept for the looks that look a lot like the BRZ Sports and the BRZ, but it's an ultimate high performance version. The Japanese automaker is calling the Subaru GT Vision. It's a great place for automakers to test out their new designs in the digital world before they actually bring a production concept to auto shows. They can even test consumer reaction before launching into production. In this, the way cars will be designed and tested in the future, do you guys think this is how they're going to be doing it? I think so. Founder of Gran Turismo recreated Jay Leno's heavily modified 1966 Oldsmobile Tornado, which, you know, I didn't know what that was, and I'm on Route X, hitting 300 miles an hour, and here's this damn Oldsmobile keeping up. I had no clue what it was, but it's the Leno car. So it says his Tornado to be set up for the game. When Leno drives the virtual car, he likes what the makers have created in the virtual game. and says it's very accurate representation of the real car. The way it feels and drives is super realistic. Subaru's high-performance Gran Turismo version concept will be made available for download in early 2014, joining the Mercedes-Benz concept. Vision Gran Turismo is a project in which the world's automakers and top global brands develop a concept car for fans of Gran Turismo to race. So, the picture of this is really, really cool. I'm going to save it, and we'll see if I can post it in the podcast post. So let's see here. Let me save it into my podcast folder, my images and stuff. I mean, this thing just looks wild. It's kind of a cross between a smushed Honda Civic with a wing in the back, real low, with kind of the look of the Mercedes into it, with the wheel wells and the wheels, and then the front end of like the HVS. Very, very amazing looking car. Alright, now here's a story, sad, but also big news. Has to do with Paul Walker. Now, anybody who is a fan of the Gran Turismo series, of course, knows who Paul Walker is, what happened to him, all the movies he raced in, and you should know the cars he drove. Well, this same website, torquenews.com, title has the picture of it too. Paul Walker's Fast and Furious Nissan Skyline GTR R34 up for sale. Is it a hoax? The Nissan GTR that Paul Walker drove as Brian O'Connor in the Fast and Furious movie franchise has been put up for sale in Germany. Is it a hoax or real? Paul Walker, the actor best known for his parts in Fast and Furious, the movie franchise, died in a tragic car accident on November 30th, 2013. The actor, well known for both his on-screen and off-screen capability in car racing, drove one of the most desirable vehicles in the film. The Nissan GTR R34 he drove has been heavily modified, and it's very famous for its role in the films. But of course, the death of the actor most associated with it has probably only driven its value upwards. The car is being offered for sale at the sum of 1 million euros, about $1.37 million. The GTR has about 6,000 kilometers on the odometer and has had several modifications for both aesthetics and performance. The ad lists several things added to the car and changed. What it doesn't mention is one key piece of information that could point to the ad being a fake, or at least being less than truthful about the car they are selling. You see, the vehicle used in the movie driven by Paul Walker is not a GTR at all. It's actually a Nissan Skyline GTS that was modified heavily to look like a GTR. Only a very few people might know this, since it was not heavily publicized, but the information was dropped shortly after the fourth installment of the movie became a popular subject. What's also not mentioned in the ad is that the GTS in question may be the one stolen from its storage facility in Los Angeles in 2009. It was one of at least 2 used in the films, and both were said to be owned by the tuning shop of Paul Walker's friend, who also died in the wreck 2 weeks ago from the post date of this ad. The ad itself, while in Germany, lists the car as being the only one in the world, which may mean it is the legitimate car. It also accurately, as far as we can tell, lists the car's engine specs and many of the tuning changes. Phone calls to the seller went unanswered or unreturned, nor email inquiries, so we don't know if this is true or not. What do you think? So on this site, other most popular posts were ultra high performance Subaru BRZ. The STI could point to more performance cars from STI. The 2000 Honda Fit, Heco in Mexico, will meet market resistance in the U.S. So this is a pretty cool site, and you can go on it. Again, it is torquenews.com, and you can click by automotive brands. So if you're a Ford guy, let me click on Ford. And it says right here, the very first 2015 Ford Mustang to be auctioned for children's diabetes research. If you are a Chevy guy, an enthusiast view on the 2014 Corvette Stingray styling 11 months later. My doctor has that car. And it's a nice car in person. All right, not sure if there's going to be a third installment. If there is, you'll hear me continue the show in a moment. If not, the closing of the show will start now. Remember the website, GT6Podcast.us. We also have a Facebook page, facebook.com/GT6 Podcast. We also have a Twitter page, twitter.com/GT6 Podcast. And we also have a Podomatic account, which is where I'm going to upload the podcast, so they are listed on iTunes. This is until the new WordPress site is finished. So let's see here. Let me make sure I have the URL to the Podomatic podcast right. Now let's see. Visit my podcast page. Okay, now this URL is gt6podcast.podomatic.com. So gt6podcast.podomatic.com. PODOMATIC.com. And this show, episode 1.0, will be the very first to be posted on there. For those of you that hear this on iTunes, please check out our website, like our Facebook page, our Twitter, follow us, and become part of the site. This is not my site, this is our site. And you are more than welcome to take part in the website. You can submit news articles, your gaming reviews, racing, anything racing related or Gran Turismo related, gaming related. You can contribute. We want your photos, your videos, even links to them. I'll do the rest. My email, gt5editorpro@gmail.com. Till next time, I'm Jamie Havokin. Take care.
Thank you for tuning in to the Gran Turismo 6 Podcast, aka the unofficial Gran Turismo series podcast with Jamie Havocan. Remember to visit the website gt6podcast.us and email me with your information. Do you have a website, a team, a group, a league, or do you open a lobby every week? Send that information to me at gt5editorpro@gmail.com. That's gt5editorpro@gmail.com, and I'll post it on our site. Take care till next Tuesday. I am Jamie Havocan. P.S. If you'd like to add me on PS3, the gamer tag is JAMIES941. JAMIES941. Take care.